What's up, guys? How we doing? So I got more on this Jett situation. Man, I gotta tell you, a little disappointed. Glen Helen had their first annual Moto Fest this weekend, and dang, it was pretty cool. You can say what you want about Bud Feldcamp, but this dude gives back to the sport and the riders. If you haven't used Nano-Xtreme, I strongly recommend it. This is the best pain solution I've ever used. And as racers, we all have aches and pains. So I'm telling you, don't take my word for it. Head over to Nano-Xtreme, use code COOKSY and get free shipping. Are you training for a big event? You got something coming up this summer, Mammoth, Loretta's, and you want to know if your training is on par, you're not sure what to do? Just do the 30-minute consultation with Coach Rob and he will put you on the right path. Click the link below, schedule your consultation, and he will help get the best out of you. I can't wait to show you guys the new NIU Powersports XQi3 motorcycle. These things are so much fun, and a lot of these e-bikes, they're getting people into trouble. But what's cool about this one? You can register it street legal, and the cops can't bother you because you have a plate on that thing. Anyway, everybody who signed up to be a member of the channel, you're all entered to win the XQ3i that I'll be giving away in December. All right, let's talk Jett Lawrence. This, I gotta say, I am disappointed in the reaction, but I also understand it. We are so tired of racism being called out when, for every little thing, the Jussie Smollett situation. As white males, we're tired of being vilified. We're tired of being called racist when we're not. I get that. I 100% get that. But this whole situation with the Lawrence family and Lucas Myrtle, it's a little bigger than that. This is a video from a while ago. I get it. And I would never vilify some kid for saying something stupid.
You know, with the coons.
But what really got me on the video was when he said coon. The way he talked about coons.
You know, with the coons.
Then he dropped the N-word. I was like, ooh, that's pretty bad. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is I had told Lucas, don't drop the video. Don't drop the video, it's stupid. And I thought it would get kind of the reaction it got. But then I did some research. I reached out to some people, some contacts, and some Honda employees. I said, is this a pattern? Is this the way that they are? Is this more, or is this just a kid being a kid? And they confirmed this is actually who they are. At that point, I changed my opinion. I'm like, you know what? This isn't just a kid being a kid. This is a pattern of behavior that's unacceptable. And I am willing to bet, now that this is out there, you're probably gonna see more. And then I get people saying, oh, well, do you sing along with rap songs when they say the N-word? I don't care about that. I really don't. And I don't think someone should be vilified just for saying that word. Show me the rap song that talks about coons. There's not one. It is a different situation. Add that to the Honda employees who told me this is not just a one-off deal. This is who they are. And they're tired of it. And they wanted this out there. They wanted people to know what they have to deal with behind the scenes. You add to that the other actions by the Lawrence family. The way they have destroyed someone they called a family member in Lucas Myrtle. The way they are vilifying Joe Schmoda just for thinking different than them and deciding to stay with Lucas because there is no proof that he stole. And if you think I'm just some race baiter trying to get clicks, you're out of your mind. You haven't been watching my videos. I call out racism on both sides. But what I can't do is overlook racism, blatant racism by a prominent figure, probably the best rider in our sport right now and one of the greatest talents I've seen in a long time. So if this was just a one-time thing and he's not actually racist, I would have fought this, and I would have, when it came out, I would have said, you know what? This is stupid, whatever. It's a nothing burger, move on. The problem is when I actually researched it, I found more. And no, I will never identify these employees because they will be crucified by it, and they don't want to lose their jobs, but they have to deal with this garbage on a daily basis. And when it comes to racism, there's a show by Matt Walsh. He did a documentary. It's hilarious. It's called Am I Racist? And it shows how racism has been vilified and it has been made a political tool. It's outright crazy the way that it is being treated right now and the way that the reparations, all that stuff is just ridiculous. But at the same time, but what that does, you add that, you add Jesse Smollett, you add all these ridiculous things, and you take away from the actual racism that's out there. And there is some. I'm disappointed that there still is. It's crazy in this day and age that we're still defining ourselves by our skin color, what we were born with. Can we please just judge on merit and who we are and what we do? And to hear the way Jett just dropped coons and then the N-word, that is clearly in his regular vocabulary. So yeah, that one incident, and like I said, the N-word doesn't bother me nearly as bad as the coons comment. That actually bothered me a lot more. And that's the thing is, mainstream media has made it to where that word doesn't really have any power anymore. That word won't get you canceled. But what will get you actually canceled is being racist. And reading some of the comments of you guys, dear Lord, there's some messed up people out there. I just grabbed one, this guy, Andrew O'Bannon. So he says, oh, now I'm getting a Jett Lawrence tattoo. He's so thrilled that Jett dropped the N-word. And coons. Are you serious? You're going to get a Jett Lawrence tattoo, not because he had a perfect season, not because he's one of the greatest talents the sport's ever seen, but because he dropped coons and the N-word. Are you serious, man? You know you're not anonymous when you post stuff, right? You know your friends and family are going to see how you think, and you're actually probably a racist. So you idiots making racist comments under my video, just know it's really easy to take your screen name and find out who you are. I mean, look at this guy. This makes sense. When I see the pictures and who this guy actually is, yeah, it makes sense that he would think that way. Sitting here with his creepy dog collar on, yeah, that's the dude I want to listen to. I don't think so. So if you want to align yourself with these stupid people and these stupid comments, just know you're not anonymous and you're lining yourself up on the side of this idiot with a dog collar on. So yeah, racism has been way, way overused, and it's been vilified and politicized to the point where they've taken away from when real racism actually exists. We are so much better now as a society than we were 50 years ago talking about race. But I'm disappointed in the comments section. We got a ways to go. I honestly thought it was better than it is. But it's this pendulum that swings back and forth through there. A ton of racism then, we get to a decent point, people like Jesse Smollett ruin it and they take it too far and they accuse it when it's not there and they make it a political statement or something to further their own personal careers. And then people who've been accused of racism, mostly white males, get pissed and we're like, screw that. And their response to that is to bring back racism? What? No. This thing has to stop. We can't keep swinging the pendulum back and forth and just keep dividing over things that we were born as. Let's judge on merit. Let's judge on who we are. Stop with this ridiculous, blind hatred of somebody because of what they were born. If you want to not like them, don't like them because of who they are. It shouldn't have anything to do with what they were born. And while this is only a small piece of the Lawrence situation, like I said, I found more. Nothing I'm going to share because I don't want to get other people into trouble or cause problems for them and their jobs and their lives. But I'm willing to bet more will come out.
With the coons.
You don't speak that freely around that many people and use coons and the N-word that loose without having a bit of racism in you. Check out Ride Strapped, goggles, glasses, shirts, just a great company that I'm really happy to be associated with. Chris that runs the company, just a solid human being. So check out ridestrap.com. Precision Transport. This is the best shipping company I've ever dealt with. They're family owned, reasonable priced. Hit up pretransport.com. If you're tired of getting jerked around by regular shipping companies, if you got a business and you want to work a big deal, they do that all the time. They work with a lot of different businesses and take over your shipping needs. So hit up pretransport.com. Alias MX gear, some seriously high quality motocross gear. The 2026 stuff will be dropping soon. Head over to Alias MX, check out what they've got, and the new stuff will be there soon. So I had the pleasure of going to Glen Helen this weekend and checking out MotoFest. This was awesome. I'll tell you what, Bud Feldcamp and the crew at Glen Helen have done a heck of a job, man. That facility is so iconic. It is a crime that the AMA Nationals don't go to Glen Helen. This is a track that should be here. Bud Feldcamp, I mean, think about where he's at. He's in Southern California with all these crazies trying to shut down tracks and create regulations. This dude has fought to keep this facility around for all of us who love dirt bikes for so many years. And he's a promoter. Yes, he's a little rough around the edges, but Davey Coombs and those guys have painted him as this crazy, unreasonable man, which is so not true. He's just a guy that stands up for what he believes, and I have nothing but respect for that. Bud Feldcamp is in the trenches, out there at the track. He understands the dream, and he understands that, yes, he's making money with his business, but he's also giving back to the community that we love so much. We love this sport, and so does Bud Feldcamp. He could easily sell this thing and move on and go away, but he doesn't. He keeps it around for us. And yeah, it's profitable. He's not doing it out of his own charity, but at the same time, he understands how to give back. He gave $100,000 to a bunch of pros this weekend. Keep in mind, the purse for an outdoor national in both the 250 and 450 class is like 70 grand. And if you take out entry fees, it's like 60. So he's giving away that much more money at a race getting ready for the nationals. That doesn't seem right. But if Bud Feldcamp can cough up $100,000 a week before the nationals, how are the nationals not giving back any more than they do? And like I said, it's not about straight profits. I want Bud and all these other promoters to make money. They work their asses off, but there's a lot of businesses these rich guys could go into and make money easier. They do it because they also love it. But Bud stood up, and he wouldn't be exploited by MX Sports, and he stood his ground, and he stood for what he believes in. And that's something I can get behind. And the racing was awesome. There was a race on Thursday where a lot of guys made money. Colt Nichols won it. He claimed $10,000 on Thursday. Then he won again on Saturday, got another $10,000. You add to his whole shot bonuses, and he made a significant amount. He made more than he did all year in Supercross. And this isn't some hack. This is a Supercross champion who makes main events, and he's very valuable to the sport of Supercross and Motocross. And in 2 days, he made more than he did chasing the entire Supercross series in purse money. And damn, Colt Nichols is, kind of known as a Supercross specialist, but he rode the wheels off that Suzuki. And he had some tough competition. Derek Drake. Derek Drake he's one of the most prominent amateur riders to turn pro. He's so talented. He's had some major issues since turning pro. He had a heart issue. I think he had a hole in his heart or some sort of weird heart issue where it was causing him to get fatigued. He gets that fixed. Then he comes back. He gets Lyme disease. Now it looks like he's got that under control. Man, the things that Derek Drake has overcome to chase his dream is it's commendable. That is one talented and dedicated rider. And I expected him to fade because he hasn't been riding. He's been recovering from Lyme disease. But man, at the end of that second moto, 30 minutes in, he is right on Colt Nichols, and their lap times didn't drop at all. Very impressive for Derek Drake. I'm curious to see what he can do outdoors. Maybe we're going to see that talent that we saw come out of the amateurs. And he had a couple of his Bar X Yamaha teammates out there. They were in the 250 class. You had Dylan Schwartz. Dylan Schwartz is good. This guy's got top 10s consistently on that Suzuki 250. Now, you say what you want about Suzuki. They're good 450s, but they're outdated. There's no way to spin that they're outdated. The 450 is a lot easier and better than the 250. Dylan Schwartz to consistently get in the top 10 on a Suzuki, man, the way he was riding, he is gelling with that Yamaha. He looks so comfortable on it. He is going to be a problem for a lot of these top guys in that 250 class. I don't know what his ceiling is. But seeing him at Glen Helen riding that confident, that smooth, and that smart for 2 30-minute plus 2-lap motos, damn, he's going to be inside the top 10 a lot this year. And his new teammate, Parker Ross, who just left the SLR Honda team, he looked good. He looked like he was still getting used to that Yamaha, though. He didn't look completely comfortable on it. Schwartz, man, he looked so comfortable. Ross, not as much. But he came on strong at the end of that second moto. These off-road guys, they have cardio for days. I'm curious to see how many points he can score this year outdoors because Parker Ross, he's pretty good. But honestly, I think the most impressive performance was the amateur, Enzo Timmerman. So Enzo won one of the SMX Next rounds this year, and he's kind of a touted prospect, but he rode every class. He rode the Thursday race, 2 30-minute motos and 2 laps. Then on Saturday, he rode a 450 and a 250. This dude did 4 30-minute plus 2-lap motos.
Thanks,
4 30-minute motos. How you feeling?
Pretty tired. Pretty sore. That was tough.
A lot of laps today.
Yeah. And if you've ridden Glen Helen or seen Glen Helen, that is not an easy track. That is, there were guys in that 450 second moto who were gassing out, and this kid charged the entire way. I don't know, man. He's got the dog in him. He really rides hard. I'm excited to see. He's going to race Paula and a couple other nationals. He's going to stay amateur for one more summer, and then he's going to go pro. But keep your eye on Enzo Timmerman. This guy's got something special. Another guy that caught my attention was Vincent Way. So he hasn't been on that 250 very long. I think he was on a Super Mini last year at Loretta Lynn's, and then he moved up right after that. So he hasn't even been on a 250 for very long, but they started him with the 250 riders. They scored him separately, but he ran third until late in that moto. And what got me about Vincent Way was his racer IQ, how quickly he finds the new lines. At a track like Glen Helen, at the start of a 30-minute moto, the fastest line is not the fastest line at the end of that moto. You have to change in the middle of the moto and make adjustments. And to see the racer IQ on Vincent Way, how he's able to switch and move around, that kid is ahead of his time. And obviously, he's got it in his bloodlines. His dad, Nick Way, was one hell of a pro. So I'm excited to see what's to come from Vincent Way. We got some stars coming up in this sport, but I think Vincent Way is definitely one of them. This event that Troy Lee helped Bud Feldcamp put together, MotoFest, I really think it can grow into something special. The turnout wasn't phenomenal, but it wasn't bad. It was really good for a first-time event. And I'll tell you what, I will be there every year they have this thing because I think it can grow into something special. And these pros can go out there and make some good money in between Supercross and the Nationals. They'll make more money at this race than they probably will all summer chasing the Nationals. So thank you, Glen Helen. Thank you, Bud Feldcamp. Thank you, Troy Lee. You guys are exactly what this sport needs. Keep it up. Don't believe what idiots like Mattress say about Bud Feldcamp. He is a bit hard-nosed, but you have to be a promoter. He's a good dude that really believes in the right things. Thank you, members. Somebody this month will be getting a 32-ounce bottle of Nano Xtreme, and you're all entered to win the NIU X3i motorcycle that I'm giving away in December. So thank you, guys. Here is your member of the day.